I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service, your family and consumer science agent. We are kicking off a brand new series. We are going to talk a little bit about some ways that you can utilize items pre-made, ready to go, and just dump it. Dump it in and have a meal, a dessert, whatever that is that you need to have. And so we're going to talk a lot about the cost of things, but also what you already have on hand that you can use, especially when you need to pull something together quickly. So when we talk about managing our resources, that's not always just our money, although our money is a very important factor in what we do, and especially in being able to feed our families. So we also have to think about our time and our energy. You know, sometimes during the week, my energy level gets pretty low, and I still have to feed my family. I still have to feed myself and have a plan. So these are going to be some things that we can look at and we can go, oh yeah, I can do that. I have that stuff in my cabinet. Or we can make a plan so that some of these things are around. Because the great thing about some of these dump it meals is that the products you need to make them have a long shelf life. So you can purchase things on sale. You can purchase things ahead and keep those staples in your cabinets. And then you've got that when you go, oh, you know what? I need to throw this dish together. There's a potluck at church. I need to drop off something maybe for a funeral. Someone's had a death and you want to drop off something for them to share and enjoy. So these are going to be simple things that you can pull together. You can mix and match the ingredients and have a lot of things to go from. So we're going to use today, I had some things on hand and I had other things that I just went ahead and purchased specifically to do these items. So as we go through the series, I'll talk a little bit about what some of those items are. Some things we bought the store brand, some things we bought a name brand that was on sale because that was the better deal. So having a plan, being able to buy things maybe in bulk because you're going to prepare multiple recipes, that's also going to help with some of that energy and your time because maybe you're prepping 2 meals at once. And then that next day, you're just gonna stick something in the oven or pop on the crock pot. So we're gonna start with some very simple, because we know one of the great things we can do that we just dump it all together and get a lot of flavor are soups. Soups and stews, things that we can throw in the crock pot, pop on the stove for just a little bit. Now, I know most of us think of soups and stews in the fall, into the winter when it's colder outside. What I love about these, we still want usually a hot meal in the evening, right? Maybe not right after we come in when it's hot, but as the evening cools off a little bit and we've cooled it down in the house, we still want something hot and hearty to finish off our day. So what I like about this is you throw it in, it's done, it's ready. If we're outside taking care of horses, if we have to move cattle, if the boys have some kind of practice, something else we have to be at that day, it's ready to go whenever anybody's ready to eat. But it also keeps us from heating up the house. We're not putting something else in the oven. Maybe we do use the stovetop, but if it's been in the crock pot for the day, it's ready to go, and we're not adding that additional heat, making our air conditioner run and work that much harder. So the 3 I picked for you, kind of different ideas, but where you're gonna be able to really put some things together. This first one is a stuffed pepper soup. Now, I know a lot of people who love stuffed peppers, the stuffed bell peppers with the meat and the rice and all of the stuff in it, but it takes a lot of work to prep those and get them ready. If you buy pre-stuffed ones in the store, typically they're more expensive and there's a lot of preservatives and things in there that nutritionally we just may not want. So this is a great alternative for that because it is gonna be a lot less time, and we're gonna take all these ingredients and put them straight into the crock pot, turn the crock pot on, and let it cook all day long. So we're gonna start off, I did go ahead and brown lean ground beef. Now I was able, because we're making so many things throughout this series, I was able to purchase the large package of ground beef, which saved me a few cents. I can balance that out because, obviously the leaner is a little more expensive typically. So I was able to buy the bigger package with the leaner beef at a better cost because I'm prepping multiple things at once. So instead of buying a pound at a time. Now, obviously, if you're cooking for one, you're not covering as many things, you're gonna wanna buy that smaller package because we don't save anything if things go bad before we have the opportunity to use them. Okay, so we're gonna start off, we're gonna have that, the ground beef, And we're gonna just pop that in there. We're gonna add our onion. Now this is a medium onion, just chopped up, ready to go. Now you can cook that in with your ground beef prior to putting it in, but because we're gonna slow cook this, if we don't do that, our onions are still gonna get nice and soft and add a lot of that flavor to our soup. Okay, then we're gonna do 2 medium peppers. So you can see my bell peppers here. I had left from another recipe, something else we had made and done, some red and yellow. This recipe actually calls for 2 green ones. I prefer, not that I don't like the green ones, but I prefer a little sweeter with the color. Plus we're gonna give it that pop of yellow. I didn't use the red one because we're gonna add all of these tomatoes, which are also gonna give it that red color. But I think that little pop of yellow is gonna really pretty that up for us. So already, I'll try to get this where you guys can kind of see. That's the beef, the onions, and the peppers. Look at the color, the flavors that are gonna be in there. It's just pretty already. So then we're gonna add a package. So the only thing so far that, we've had to cook ahead, because you can also purchase the peppers and the onions already cut if you need to do that. Obviously, when you do that, they don't have that shelf life. So you're gonna have to use those more readily. Whereas these may be staples you already have in your fridge or on hand. This is ready to serve brown rice. If you prefer a different type of rice, if you want long grain, if you want just regular white rice, we like this brown rice to give us a little extra fiber to add. Okay, but so we're not gonna worry about, is our rice gonna cook? Is it gonna get done all the way through? Do we have to take the time to do that? Because this is ready to serve. You pop it in the microwave and heat it. Obviously we didn't even have to do that because we're gonna heat it up as part of our soup. So one of the things, this is gonna be a key piece in pulling all those flavors together. This is 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. It's not gonna make it overly sweet, but it's gonna give it that nice little added pop. And like I said, it's really gonna bring together all of those flavors that we want to kind of mesh as we put our soup together. Okay, so pretty simple so far, right? We're just dumping it in, putting all of our stuff together. So then we're gonna have, salt to taste. We've got a little oregano. And if you're stressed about that, you can measure. I know a lot of us, especially cooking in the crock pot and doing these things, we don't measure. This is some basil. So again, we're just gonna add to those nice flavors. A little bit of salt, because we are using reduced sodium products to add. So we might need a little bit of salt, just again for that, bring those flavors together and give it that kick. Then we're gonna do 2 cans. So this is gonna make a big thing of soup, y'all. So this would be great to freeze in individual sections. Again, something great to take along to a potluck hot in the crock pot to share. If you don't wanna make it in the crock pot, you can always do this on your stovetop. This would be good in the Instapot. If you're an Instapot cooker and like to do that, you might have it because depending on the size of your Instapot. But you're gonna have all of these great flavors and things together. So then we're also gonna add some diced potatoes. I get the petite ones because that's just what my family and I prefer. We're not even gonna drain those, right? Because we need a lot of liquid. We've got all these veggies and yummy things in here that we wanna cook through. So we've added all of our cans. And then, because again, this is a soup. Now, if we wanted it a little thicker, just stew-like, we could cook it like this. It's not gonna go quite as far, and you're not gonna have quite as, just as much liquid through it, because your tomatoes are gonna cook down some. But so for the soup part, we're gonna go ahead and add, and this is 1 carton, which is 4 cups, and that's actually calls for the carton this size, of beef broth. This is again, the less sodium beef broth, because we know, especially if you've been warned by your healthcare professional that you need to watch your sodium, this is a great way to do that. And then everyone, of course, if they want more salt or need more of a salty flavor, they can add their own to that. We'll see if I'm gonna be able to pick this up and show it to you now, because it is, pretty full in our crock pot, but I can probably get you a spoonful up there to see those great colors. We know we're gonna have a great mix of flavors. And then what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna pop our top on. Get all of my hooks in place. And then we're gonna set this on low, okay, with the top on. We're gonna leave it on low and we're gonna let it cook 5 or 6 hours until it's done. And then of course we can leave it to keep warm if we're taking it, delivering it, or we're gonna let it cool. We're gonna put it in smaller containers and save it so that we can share that with everybody. Okay, so we went into a lot of detail on this one. These, we're not gonna go into as much detail, but I am gonna show you what you just need to dump in there. This is a wonderful tortilla soup. And you can use, we're gonna use chicken, we're gonna use canned chicken, but you can use a rotisserie chicken that's pulled up if you have leftover chicken from a meal, or this would be really great after Thanksgiving if you have leftover turkey, all of those things that you can add to this. If you prefer beef and maybe you have beef on hand, you could always use beef stew meat, ground beef, something like that. So we start with, we've got a chopped onion that we sauteed with a little olive oil with our garlic. It smells really great so far. And then we're just gonna dump everything in here. And so what we've got is chicken broth as well. Now this is the big container of chicken broth. This is gonna be about 6 cups. So you can adjust if you already have chicken broth in your cabinet, whether you have the cans or boxes or you have the smaller size boxes. This is the family size, which is actually 6 cups of broth. Just get it all out of that little hole. Okay. So we're gonna add that, and then we're gonna do, again, this is a can of petite diced tomatoes, undrained. We put all of that in there. We have a 4-ounce can of green chilies. You can get, and this is one of those deals if you're not a fan of green chilies, or if what you have in the cabinet is the like Rotel or something that's already tomatoes with green chilies, you can just add that in and give it that flavor. And again, this, depending on if you want the hot or the mild or the medium, whatever the preference is within your family. And then we're gonna put in a packet of taco seasoning. So this is actually reduced sodium as well. So I bought a regular package. This one is less expensive by about 20 cents. So this one is the regular, the store brand, but it does have more sodium than the reduced sodium option. And so there was a little difference in the price on that. So again, you, depending on what your health needs are, may have to balance that out as to what it would be for the better use of your resources. Okay, but even the name brand version of this, that's the same price, has the same amount of sodium as the store brand. Okay, it's just less expensive, but it's pretty much the same stuff. Okay, and then we're gonna add about 2 cups, and it can be cubed. I have this kind of shredded. This is actually canned chicken. So again, something you may have in your cabinet that you've put in to have, but this is gonna add a lot of great flavor, a great way to utilize that and not have to take the time to go back and cook a chicken right then. Or like I said, this would be a wonderful thing for your leftovers. And then we're gonna throw in, this is 2 cups of corn. This is frozen corn. Of course, you can use fresh or canned. Again, whatever you happen to have on hand. What we like about fresh and frozen, again, is that less sodium and we don't have all the preservatives. If we're doing things from a can, we just need to be careful and make sure we're reading those labels, because that's gonna be one of the things with all of these. As we're dumping things in and putting things together, we need to read our labels and be aware nutritionally, particularly if we're considering a diabetic diet or we're trying to figure out how to reduce the sodium in our diet. We wanna be able to consider what that is. Okay, so again, here we have, all my corn floated to the top, so that's mostly yellow. Let me get a scoop out of there. what looks like a yummy, fun soup. We're gonna put this on the stove because I did put it in a pan. Now, you could also do this in the crock pot, just like we did with our pepper soup. But we are gonna put it back on the stove. We're gonna let this come to a boil, and then we're gonna reduce the heat, and we're gonna simmer it and let it heat through really good. When we get ready to serve it, we can add some cilantro. You can put sour cream on top. This would be good with maybe tortilla strips or chips on the side. All of those kind of things, because it's got that nice pop of that taco flavor for your tortilla soup. Okay, so again, pretty simple. Things you have on hand, things you can pick up very easily, things you can purchase when they're on sale to make that convenient, because these things, like these tomatoes, their shelf life is a couple years in the can because of the way they're preserved. So something that when it's on sale, you can buy some, have them in the cabinet, and just pull them out when you're ready, and that can save you some money as well. And then finally, I have this super fun potato soup. Now, if you want to do this as a side dish, if you want to do this as a meal, you can add meat to it. You can put it again like just on the side of meat, however it is that you want to eat it. We're going to add a lot of chicken flavor, so you could put chicken, but it'd also be really good like with diced ham or bacon if you want to add extra things to it. But we're going to use, these are just frozen hash browns, shredded hash browns. Dump them right into the crock pot. That's going to be the base of this one. We're gonna do about 5.5 cups of chicken broth for our liquid. That's gonna, again, help cook up those potatoes good and have them all soft and soupy-like and give us that flavor. This box was not full. It's about 5.5 cups with what I have in it. Because again, this is a six cup box total. So we're gonna put in that chicken broth. Then we're gonna, to make it creamy, this is just cream of chicken soup. Again, these cream soups have a long shelf life. So as they're on sale, as you find them, you will be able to purchase those inexpensively because they are a great staple. Some people do like to just open the can and eat them that way. I like to cook with them. I like to add them to a lot of things. And as we go into next week's, we're gonna make some casseroles, and cream soups is another thing that we put in there just for that cooking, and the gravy piece can be a helpful thing. So about 1/2 cup of onion in this one. We wanna do a little bit of pepper, okay, give it a spice of flavor so we don't have to have all the salt. And then just mix that up. Now, one of the things I like in potato soup that I also think gives it that great pop of color, we're gonna do just some shredded carrots, and probably about 1 cup of those is gonna be plenty. If your family is not big on carrots, they don't like that and they don't wanna do that, then that's great. You don't have to put those in. Now again, this is gonna make a big pot of soup. This is something that once it's cooked and done, you could put it into individual servings with all of these. That would be a great thing. You can put them in the freezer. You can pack them up to take a couple for lunch the next week and have that on hand. So the big secret to this one, to make this savory soup for your potato soup, once it's cooked, we're gonna plug this in, we're gonna put it on low, and we're gonna let it cook 6 to 8 hours. Okay, soften up all those vegetables, get all of that stuff gelled together. And then about an hour before we wanna serve it, to finish it off, we're gonna take a block of cream cheese. Okay, we're gonna take a little out because it's hot, right? And put it in a bowl and mix it up with our cream cheese so that this all melts up good. We don't have any clumps, anything like that. And then we're gonna put it back in there and stir it in so that we have this creamy, wonderful soup. So very simple, things we can put together, things we can have ready to go. We can use things in our cabinet. We can substitute out things as we need to. And we can save a little money, okay? Because again, we might get half this, put half in the freezer and have a meal in a couple of weeks that we can just pull out and heat up to go. So again, I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service, your family and consumer science agent. We are working on our Dump It series and learning about how we can just dump some things in a pot and have a great meal or dish that we can share. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you back here next time.